I understand Oscars history, and it's always been in March and even into April and late in the calendar, and that's not like a new thing. But nowadays, especially, I just think it needs to be moved way up. I don't think that we still talk about the, like Katie was saying, like Sinners is 11 months old. God loves Sinners; it's still great. But why are we still talking about this? You know what I mean? Like it just is. It is. You're asking too much of an audience that barely could care about anything day to day in any capacity, right? We've seen that the way social media has ruined everything and people are just kind of shot. So like accepting that the world has changed and the or response to things has changed, I think it
in
has to move
journalism
much
here,
further.
we start doing the best of lists like right after Halloween.
Yes, it's
Like
crazy. And
by
so
by early December,
you're
like
late.
we're pretty much done with best of lists, and they're doing 3-4 months later.
It's
Like,
crazy. I just think it needs to change, and that would be a huge. I mean, that would be such a. It would be honestly unthinkable because like there's so many things that are propped up by the
It's
Oscars,
going to
right?
take
Like
us so much money out of Los Angeles
exactly all these things.
specifically.
Like it would just have to reframe everything and maybe make things early. They would have to adjust, I would say, and I do think you would get a different vibe too of the nominees and everything, even if it was earlier in the year.
I mean, the Globes, fortunately or unfortunately, are not just going to go die, go off somewhere and die. They're going to figure out a way to do it in October or do what
Yeah,
they
the close
Oh my
on
God.
Thanksgiving.
This is
That would be
great
great.
because then you don't have any Christmas movies in the mix. Like you don't get Marty Supreme to be
Yeah, but
considered
maybe
for
Marty
any of that
Supreme
stuff.
comes out earlier.
And
So then what comes
everyone-
out at Christmas?
Everyone
Avatar.
Wonka
everyone
only.
will sneak their will screen their things for the voters early. So
I just I do think it just has to move earlier. I think especially if you're I don't care as much about the ratings. Certainly, I'm like I understand like it's a different time and like you're never going to get like Titanic numbers. But I just think in terms of like the relevance in the conversation, it almost does it. Not to sound like too noble here, but I also it does a little bit of a disservice to the movies because as we've seen even this year with movies like Sinners in One Battle, when you let people just sit and debate these movies for months on end, they pick them apart and it turns everything into like kind of like a zero sum game where it's like fuck One Battle or Sinners sucks and I don't like it. You know, I find myself doing that. Like I'm guilty of this too, where it's just like I'm so tired of these movies. And I think that's also because we've just been talking them to death. And if the Oscars happened earlier now, the way we kind of go and cover things, it would just be a little better. And I think it would make the show stay relevant.